Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Tier 1 Cards and Games in Anchorage, Alaska, where I will be fighting a 2,000-point 8th edition battle between my Dark Angels and Brian's Thousand Suns. So, the story that we've got going on here is that after all of the events during the Curse of the Wolf and leading up into the Gathering Storm, where the Dark Angels were tricked into attacking Fenris by Tzeentch, they decided to exact some retribution when they heard that Magnus and the Thousand Suns were actually on this planet. So they sent in a very elite force to try to go and see if they could take him down for the enact a little bit of vengeance against them, and see what they could do to try to help the Imperium by taking out one of the main aggressors that they're facing right now. So that's the story that we got going on. We are going to be playing the cleanse and control mission, so the tactical objectives. So we've got objective here, there's one here, there's one right over here, and we got one right over here, and then there's one back over in there. So that's the mission that we got going on. That's the story that we've got going on. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two armies that will be fighting it out today.
So for the Dark Angels, I'll be running a Vanguard detachment and an Outrider detachment. Leading off the Vanguard detachment, we have Belial and an Interrogator Chaplain with Terminator armor. We have a 5-man Terminator squad with a Cyclone missile launcher. We have a second 5-man Terminator squad. The Sergeant has a Thunderhammer Storm Shield, and there's an assault cannon. And we have a third 5-man Terminator squad with a Cyclone missile launcher. Then for the Outrider detachment, we have a Librarian on a bike with a Force Sword. We have two 3-man Black Knight squads. We have 4 separate attack bikes with multi-meltas. And last but not least, we have a Dark Talon. So for the Thousand Suns, he'll be running a Patrol detachment, a Vanguard detachment, and a Super Heavy Auxiliary detachment. Leading off the Patrol detachment, we have a Sorcerer with a Jump Pack and a Force Stave. We have a 10-man Rubric Marine squad with a Soul Reaper cannon and a Rhino as a dedicated transport. We have a 20-man Zangor squad with chain swords and auto pistols, and a Twist Bray with a Zangor blade. Then for the Vanguard detachment, we have a Sorcerer with a Jump Pack and a Force Sword. We have a 5-man Scarab Occult Terminator squad with a Soul Reaper cannon, Hellfire missile rack, and they all have power swords. We have another 5-man Scarab Occult Terminator squad with a Soul Reaper cannon and power swords. We have a Hellforged Contemptor Dreadnought with a Chain Claw, Hellflamer, and Karis Assault Cannon. We have a Hellbrute with a Multi-Melta and a Hellbrute Hammer. And last but not least, we have Magnus himself.
Alright, so those are the armies that I'm going to be fighting. Going over deployment here, I've got one of my attack bikes here. I've got the 2 separate Black Knight squads there, and my Librarian on a bike here. I've got my other attack bike here, another attack bike here, another attack bike here, and my Dark Talons back here in this corner. And everyone else here is in Deep Strike Reserve. So going over deployment now for the Thousand Suns. He's got his Rubric Marines inside of there. We've got Magnus right here. We've got the Contemptor Dreadnought, the Zangors right there, and then we have the Hellbrute over there. And in reserve, he has his 2 Terminator squads and the 2 Sorcerers with jump packs. So that's what we've got going on. As of right now, the Thousand Suns are going to be going first, unless I can seize the initiative. Looking for a 6. Show me that Phil first. Oh, cocked. Come on, show me that Phil first. No, the opposite of it. So we will come back to you with the cards drawn for the Thousand Suns here on turn 1. All right, so first turn here, he drew Advance, which means he has to be out of his deployment zone. He has Big Game Hunter and Witch Hunter. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns here. He moved up over here. Did he advance? No, yeah, just moved up. Magnus moved up over here. This guy moved up over there. They kind of moved up over here, and he moved up over there. So that's it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so Magnus is going to cast Warp Time on himself. So needing, that goes off with a 6. So he will move. And that is where he ended up. All right, so now he is going to cast Smite onto them. Rolling off, and he gets 11, which actually becomes a 13 because it's +2. So that means it's 2d6 mortal wounds onto this squad here. I can't deny it because I get +1 because of my psychic, because of the psychic hood. But that means I would have to roll, well, no, 13? Technically I could. So let's see. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Here we go. I'm going to try to deny this because I've got +1 because he's within 12 inches. If I roll a double 6, oh no, that would be equal to. Oh, I have to get higher. I can't do it. It's impossible. Sorry. So it's impossible for me to get that. So 2d6 mortal wounds. 6 mortal wounds. That is the squad. So that is first blood. And now he's going to cast Mortal Gaze onto my librarian there. So he's got looking for a 5. So that goes off with 9, becomes an 11. So I need to get a 12. Because he's within 12, I can roll an 11, and I'll be okay. So let's see. Can I roll an 11 or a 12 on 2d6? Come on, show me that fill faces. Show me the fill faces. No. Oh, I got 1. I am going to spend a command point. I'm going to spend a command point and re-roll this. Oh, baby. I need a 5 or a 6. There's a 1/3 chance that I could deny this. Come on, baby. You know you want to. Yeah! With a fill phase! Woo! All right, so that's it for Psychic phase. On to the shooting phase. He is going to fire his Combi Bolter into him over here. So, 2 shots hitting on 3s. So that's 1 hit. Wounding on a toughness 5, so wounding on a 5. No wound. And now he is going to fire his Multi-Melta into him. So, hitting on a 4 because he moved. That's a hit. Strength 8, toughness 5, looking for a 3 to wound. That's a wound. AP -4, so that just goes through. So now D6 wounds. 6 wounds. He is dead. All right, so Magnus, that's it for shooting phase. So Magnus is going to charge into my librarian over here. So I've got 4 shots here with the twin bolters firing here. So hitting on 6s. Hey, you got 2 hits. Toughness 7, so looking for 5s to wound. I got 2 wounds. 2 3-ups. Oh, he failed both of them. All right, so now the injured Magnus is now going to charge into him. His distance goes with a 7. He will make that in. All right, so here we go with over here. Magnus is going to attack first. He's got 7 attacks because he's pretty much at full health there. So 7 attacks hitting on 2s. Okay, that is all hits. Pretty brutal. Strength times 2, right? So it's strength 16. So wounded on 2s. Yeah, that's all but 2. And those are 3 wounds each, right? So that is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 wounds onto my 5 wound guy. AP -4. So he's he's dead. So that is it for the fight phase. Everything that he even looked at is dead. So I don't have to take any morale tests. So we will come back to you after movement phase with the cards drawn because he didn't actually. He did. He got 1. He got slay the witch hunter. He did get witch hunter because he did just kill him brutally in combat. So he got witch hunter. So we will come back to you with the cards drawn for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. All right, cards drawn for the Dark Angels here. I got secure objective 1, behind enemy lines, and master the warp. So yeah, that master the warp is impossible now, but it was possible in the beginning. So the way my house rule is, you can only discard and redraw if it was never possible at all. So that is it for the Dark Angels draw here. We'll come back to you after movement phase. All right, end of the movement phase, and the trap has been sprung. The Dark Angels, the Death Watch have the Death Wing have dropped in over here. The two of the Terminator squads, Belial and the Interrogator Chaplain, have dropped in on him. 2 of the Melta Bikes have turned around on him. These guys that he had consolidated into my Black Knights, so they shot over to there. My Dark Talon turned over this way. He's jumped onto the objective and is looking over this way. And these guys back here dropped into the corner looking onto his Hellbrute. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase since he killed my Psyker. All right, so this guy's going to fire into Magnus over here. The yellow are going to be the Twin Bolter. The green's going to be the Multi-Melta. He did move, so these are going to be hitting on 4s, except the yellows are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Toughness 7, right? So these are going to be wounding on 5s. The green is going to be wounding on a 3. All right, so we got 1 armor save and 1 invul save. Let's do the armor save first. 3 up. He's good, and then the invul save is 4 up. Rerolling 1s, but he's good. Same thing for the other guy over here. Alrighty. Looking for 5s and 3. Oh, I'm gonna spend a command point on that. There we go. All right, so let's do the armor save first. 3 up. That's good. And then the invul save. No, that goes through. So we roll 2d6 because he's in melter range and take the highest. 6. I will take that. All right, now my Dark Talon is going to fire into him. He's going to use the Rift Cannon first, so heavy D3. So 2 shots. These are going to be hitting on 4s because it's heavy, so a -1. He does have Strafing Run, but Magnus has the fly special rule, so Strafing Run does not count for this one. So 2 shots hitting on 4s. We got 1 hit, strength 10, wounding on a 3. Nope. And now the Hurricane Bolters are going to fire in here. So we got 24 shots because he's in rapid fire range there. These are going to be hitting on 3s. All right, that one's cocked. All righty. All right. Pretty good. And now these are going to be strength 4, toughness 7, so wounding on 5s. All right. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 3-up saves. 3 ups. All right, so he fails 3 of them, and then he's got his lead Warlord trait, which is on a 6-up. He ignores them. We did that for the other ones too. We've got to put on camera. No, so those go through. So now this squad's going to fire into him. We're going to start with the Cyclone Missile Launcher. He's going to use the crack, so it's heavy 2, so hitting on 4s because they moved since they came in. All right, 1 hit, strength 8, wounding on a 3. That's a wound. AP -2, so he's going to have his 4-up invul save. No, it goes through because he only rerolls 1, so it's D6 damage. 3 damage, so now he gets 3 rolls of his Warlord trait. Gets 1 of them, so 2 go through. And now the Storm Bolters are going to fire into him. So we've got 20 shots from the 5 Storm Bolters there. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Wow, that was some pretty atrocious firing there. Alright, so we've got 5 hits out of 20. Wounding on 5s. 2 wounds, so 2 3-ups. Fails 2 of them. Oh no! 2 6-ups for his Warlord trait. Oh, he makes 1, so he takes 1 wound. All right, they're going to fire now into him. We've got the Assault Cannon first, so 6 shots hitting on 4s because he moved. All right, wow, pretty good. Strength 6, toughness 7, so still wounding on 5s. We've got 2 wounds, AP -1, so 4 ups. Rerolling the 1. Oh, and it goes through, and that is 1 other damage. 6 up. No, it goes through. And then we have 3 Storm Bolters that are going to be firing into him. So 12 shots hitting on 3s. All right, a little bit better than their brethren. Wounding on 5s. That one's cocked. Okay, we got 1 wound. Worse than their brethren. 3 up. No, it goes through. 6 up. Warlord trait. Oh, no. No, what? Now, Belial's going to shoot him with his Storm Bolter. So we got 4 shots here hitting on 3s. Hitting on 2s, sorry. Alrighty. Wait, 1 second. Alright, Belial gets to reroll because of himself. Alright, so that's 4 hits. Wounding on 5s. No wounds there. And my Interrogator Chaplain is going to shoot into him. 4 shots hitting on 3s. Alright, wounding on 5s. We've got 2 wounds. Technically, this could heal him. 2 3-up saves. Oh, he fails 1. Yeah, it's going to spend a command point on that. Yeah, and he's good. And now he is going to fire into him. So he's not in melter range or in rapid fire range. So we've got the 2 shots from the Twin Bolter and the 1 shot from the Multi-Melta. Hitting on 4 on the green, 3s on the yellow. Ooh, okay. So, wounding on a 5. That's a wound. 3-up save. He's good. And now these guys are gonna fire into his Hellbrute over there. So I got 2 shots from the crack missile. These are gonna be hitting on 4s because they moved. All right, 1 hit. Strength 8, toughness 7. So looking for a 3 to wound. That's a wound. AP -2. So it's 5 up save. No, it goes through. D6 wounds. 5 wounds. And now their storm bolters are gonna fire in. So we got 20 shots hitting on 3s. Alrighty. So these are now going to be wounding on 5s. Whew. All right, so we've got 4 wounds there. So 4 3-up saves. Oh, and he fails 2 of them. Yep, 2 of them. All right, so that's it for shooting phase. The rest of my opponent, when I said that's it for shooting phase, he's like, oh yeah, that's it. That was a really gruesome shooting phase there. So now these guys here are going to start out the assault phase by charging into Magnus. He has no overwatch there, so I need to get a 9-inch charge. Looking for 9 inches. No, I failed that one. These guys are now going to charge into him. Looking for 9 inches. Getting 8 inches. I'm going to re-roll that. Come on. 3+. Come on. Yeah, and they're in. All right, so now Belial is going to charge in. No, he is not in. My interrogator chaplain is going to charge in. He is not in. And then my attack bike there is going to charge in. 8 is in, and then this guy's going to charge in. He is in with 8. All right, now they're going to charge into him. So Overwatch here with a multi-melta hitting on a 6. No, needing a 9-inch charge. No, do not get it. All right, so that is it for the assault phase. We'll come back to you with a fight phase. All right, so now we're going to activate my Terminators there. We're going to go with the guys with the Power Fist first. So there's 4 guys with Power Fist. These are going to be 2 attacks each. So hitting on 4s because they're unwieldy. All right. So we've got 5 hits. Strength 8, toughness 7. So looking for 3s to wound. All right, so we've got 4 wounds. These are at AP -3, I think. Hold on a second. These are AP -3, so 4 up invuls. Rerolling 1s. Oh, no, so 2 go through. And these are going to be D3 wounds each. Oh, 2 go through, so he is going to be, yeah. Oh, no, hold on. So those go through. So D3, so we got 2, 3, 4. So we got 4 wounds. He has 2 wounds left. He now has his 6-up Warlord trait. So he needs at least 3 of them to survive. Can he get 3 6s? No, he gets 1. So he is going to be dead, and that is Slay the Warlord. All right, so that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here. I got Secure Objective 1 and Behind Enemy Lines, and I'm going to get rid of Master of the Warp. So we'll come back to you with the cards drawn for the Thousand Suns here on turn 2. All right, so my opponent had gotten rid of Advance, so now he still has Big Game Hunter, Defend Objective 3, and Secure Objective 1. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns here on turn 2. These guys dropped in over here, so he's got a Terminator squad, and these are the ones with the Hellfire, Hellfire missile rack. And then one of the sorcerers came over here, the one with the Force stave. These guys disembarked over here, and then this guy moved back over there to the objective. He moved up over here. These guys advanced up over this way. He moved in over that way. And then these guys came in from reserve. Again, one of the other Terminator squad without the missile rack, and the sorcerer with the power sword. Force sword, sorry. Dropped in over here. We'll wait for them. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, start of the psychic phase. His sorcerer in the front there is going to cast Smite into these guys. So, looking for a 5. It goes off with a 7. So that is 1 mortal wound. So now his sorcerer is going to cast Warp Time onto the Terminators here. Looking for a 6. That goes off. All right, so now that's where they ended up moving over here. So now his sorcerer is going to cast Prescience onto his guys here. So I'm looking for a 7, and that goes off. So they're going to have +1 to hit. So we're going to start here with his sorcerer sergeant guy there. He's going to cast into him with Smite. No, does not go off. And now he's going to cast regular Smite into them because the regular Smite, because they're the sorcerers there are not Thousand Sun sorcerers, so they don't have the -1. They're just Tzeentchian sorcerers. So here comes Smite here. It goes off with a 10, so that's D6 mortal wounds. 6 mortal wounds, so he's dead. And now he's going to cast Infernal Gaze into my flyer here. So, looking for a 5, right? Ooh, it goes off with a 5. So now what he does is he's going to roll 3d6. Any 4+ on these rolls, he takes a mortal wound. So 2 mortal wounds. Pretty brutal. And now his sergeant from there is going to cast Smite into these guys. So, going off with 6, so another mortal wound. Alright, so now this Terminator squad is going to fire into my Terminator squad. So we're going to go with the, which one's first? The Infernal Combi Bolters. So these are going to be firing. They're at AP -2 because of being Thousand Suns. So he's got, 3 of these ones, right? So 3 times, so 12 shots are going to be coming in here. These are going to be hitting on 2s. Oh, because he casts Prescience, right. Hitting on 2s. All right. And these are Strength 4, so wounding on 4s. All right, so that's 2 wounds. All right. So 2, AP -2, so it becomes 3 ups because it's +1 because they're in cover, -2, so -1 generally. So it becomes a 3 up. So 2 3 ups, and I fail one of them. And now the Soul Reaper cannon is going to fire in here. So it's 4 shots hitting on 2s, right? So these are now wounding on Strength 5, so wounding on 3s. Got 2 wounds. AP -3 +1 because of the cover, so -2 becomes 4 up. So I'm going to do it 1 at a time. Nope, failed that one, so he's dead. And now the next one I'm going to take onto the Sergeant with the Storm Shield, so looking for a 3 up. He's good. And now the Hellfire Missile Rack is going to fire into these guys. So 2 shots hitting on 2s because they ignore the movement penalty for heavy. So that's 2 hits. Strength 8, wounding on 2s. That's 2 wounds. AP -3. Oh, my AP -2. So I'm going to take it on. I'm going to take it on the regular guy first. So it's 2 wounds, right? And they're D3 damage. Yeah. So I'm going to take it on him. So. Here we go. So we're going to do it 2 3 ups. No, 2 ups. No, 3 ups. AP -2. So it ends up being -1 because they're in cover. So 2 3 ups. And they're good. Woo! All right, so now this squad here is going to fire into these guys. So we're going to go with the regular bolters first. Regular bolters. They're the Infernus bolters, so they're going to be -2. 2 guys are in rapid fire range, and the rest are not. So we got 10 shots here, hitting on 3s. All right. All right. Strength 4, wounding on 4s. All right, so we've got 4 wounds. 4 AP -2, so +1 because of cover. So we're looking at -1 total, so looking for 3 ups. And I failed 2 of them. And now the Soul Reaper cannon is going to fire into here. So hitting on 3s, Strength 5, so wounding on 3s. All right, so that's 2 wounds, AP -3. So I'm going to take these on the Sergeant because they're just 1 wound each, right? Yeah, so I'm going to take them on the Sergeant, 3 up invul saves. Oh, and he fails 1. So now the Karis Assault Cannon is going to fire into these guys over here. So hitting on 4s because he moved, right? Oh, hitting on 3s because he moved. He's got a ballistic still 2. Oh, yeah, cool. So that's 2 hits. Strength 7, so wounding on 3s. So that's 2 wounds. AP -1, so +1 because of cover, so 2 3 ups. Make them both. Woo! And now he's going to use the Hell Flamer here. D6 hits. 4 hits. Strength 5, right? So wounding on 4s. Yeah. Ooh, we're going to just check this. All right, Strength 5, Toughness 5. So looking for 4s to wound. We got 2 wounds. AP -2. AP -1, 2 damage. So these are going to be 2 4 ups. No, 2 3 ups because they're in cover. Oh, I failed both of them. And it's 2 wounds, so that's 2 guys dead. All right, so the Hellbrute's going to fire with his multi-melta. He doesn't get any modifiers because of the wound, so he's just going to be hitting on a 4 because he moved. That's a hit. Strength 8, wounded on a 2. No wound there. All right, so now these guys here are going to be firing into him with the Infernus bolter. So we've got 4 guys this time with the Infernus bolters. They're going to be -1 to hit because of him being hard to hit, and they're not heavy. So this is going to be hitting on 4s because of -1 to hit. All right, so that is 5 hits. Strength 4, wounding on 5s. So we've got, 4 wounds. AP minus 2. So this is going to be 4 5-up saves. Oh, failed them all. All right, now the Soul Reaper cannon is going to fire into here. So we got these shots hitting on 4s because of the -1 to hit because of hard to hit. Strength 5, so wounding on 5s. We got 2 wounds. -3, so 2 6-ups. No, failed them both. Is it 1 damage each? All right, so he's down to 2. All right, so that's it for shooting phase. These guys are now going to assault into my Terminators over here. So we're going to start with Overwatch with the Assault Cannon, hitting on 6s. Nope, nothing there. So your charge distance, you need a 9-inch charge. No, does not get it. Oh, they did move up. We're going to figure out this. All right, so after their, warp time move, and my guy's getting out, that was just barely in, but in, and that's all that matters. All right, and he's going to charge into them. So we're going to try with the Overwatch here with the Cyclone Missile Launchers. 2 shots hitting on 6s. No, nothing there. And then the 5 Storm Bolters are going to fire in, looking for 6s. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Wounding on 5s. We've got 2 wounds, 2 3-ups. Oh, and he fails. But does he blow up on a 6?
He does.
He does. We'll figure that out and come back to you. All right, so he exploded. He did D3 mortal wounds onto these guys. At first, he rolled a 1 and then spent the command point and did 2, so he killed off a Terminator. Well done. All right, so that's it for the assault phase. So now on to the fight phase. These guys are going to attack in first. So he's going to use the guys with the power swords first. So they've got, 4 guys with power swords, 2 attacks each. So they're going to be hitting on 3s. Oh, +1 because of prescience, so hitting on 2s. All right, pretty good. And then strength 4, wounding on 4s. So we've got 2 wounds. 2 is -3, so I got to take them one at a time onto my sergeant there because he's the first one. So he's got the storm shield, so 3 up, invul save. Nope, he's dead. And the next one's -3, so he's going to be at a 5 up. Oh, and he is good. And now this sorcerer is going to go, hitting on 2s. All right, strength 6, so wounding on 3s. I got 1 wound, AP -1, so looking for a 3-up save. He's good. Woo! All right, so that is it. So now my guy gets to go in. He's got 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. Oh, dropped my die. Hitting on 3s. All right, so that is 2. That's 1 hit. Strength 8, wounding on a 2. That's a wound. AP -3.
So they have a 5-up.
They've got a 5-up invul save.
And is it just 1 damage?
No, it's going to be D3 damage. So yeah, you got 5-up invul.
And then reroll.
Ooh, and he is good. And that is it for the saves here. He's at leadership 8. So yeah, so this guy here has Unforgiven, so he's going to be fine. He's got leadership 8 and only lost 2 guys, so they cannot fail. So that is it for the Thousand Suns turn here. We'll come back to you with his cards. All right, so he didn't get any of his cards, but he's going to keep them. So that is it for the Thousand Suns turn here. We'll come back to you with the cards drawn for the Dark Angels on turn 2. All right, so I drew Defend Objective 3, Area Denial, and Supremacy. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for Dark Angels here on turn 2. Oops, sorry, got knocked out there. So yeah, Belial moved up this way. He stayed in combat. The Flyer moved up over here. He moved up over this way. He moved up over this way. These guys moved up over this way. He advanced up next to them. He moved over to here. And those guys moved up over there. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, so we're going to start out firing with him into them. Yellow are going to be the bolters. Green is going to be the multi-melta. Multi-melta's hitting on 4 because he moved. The others are hitting on 3s. Wow, okay. One hit, strength 4, toughness 4, wounded on 4. That's a wound. 3-up save. No, 1 dead. So now he's gonna fire into them down over here. So he's got heavy. Let me just take a look. Yep. So yeah, he's gonna fire into there. He's going to do the Rift Cannon first, so that's D3 shots. All right, so that's 3 shots. It's going to be -1 to hit because he moved, but +1 because of strafing run. So he's at 5 up ballistic skill right now because of him being down to 2 wounds. So looking for 5 ups. No hits there. All right, so now he's going to fire his hurricane bolters. So we got 24 shots. These are going to be hitting on 4s. I dropped a die. I'll get that in a second. So these are going to be hitting on 4s because it's +1 because of strafing run. These are going to be hitting on 4s. All right. I'm just going to roll this one because I dropped 1 die. All right. So not super great. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 hits. These are strength 4 wounding on 4s. So that's 4 wounds. AP is AP nothing, but they've got a 2+ save because their armor. They get a +1 to their saves if the damage from the weapon is only 1. So these are going to be 4 2+ saves, and he fails 1 of them. And now Belial's going to fire his Stormbolter into them. 2 shots hitting on 2s. Rerolling because of him being him, thankfully. All right. Wow. All right, 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. That is a wound. 2 up save because of the +1. What was that? Yeah, he's good. He's going to fire into here. He's got 2 shots with his Plasma Talon. I am not going to supercharge it. So 2 shots hitting on 3s. That's a good thing I did not supercharge. Woo! So now these guys here are going to fire into him. Only 3 guys can see him through windows and whatnots, and 1 of them is in rapid fire range. So we've got 8 shots here, hitting on 3s. Okay. Wounding on 4s. We got 1 wound, 2 up save. He's good. And now these guys are going to fire into the Zangors over here. So we're going to go with the Cyclone Missile Launcher first. So he's got heavy, he's going to use the frag attack. So these are heavy 2d3. So looking at 4 hit shots. Hitting on heavy, so they move. So we're looking for 4s to hit. All right, so that is 3 hits. Strength 4, toughness 4. So looking for 4s to wound. Got 1 wound. What's the save? Just a regular save. It's a what?
5 up invuln.
5 up invuln, so that is not good. And now these guys are going to fire their Stormbolters. They're just in range, hitting on 3s. All right. Wounding on 4s. All right, so we've got 4 wounds. 4 5 up invul saves. Makes 2 of them. All right. All right, so now he's going to fire into him. So we've got the green's going to be the multi-melta, hitting on 4 and 3s. Okay, wow. Wounding on a 5. Nope, nothing there. All right, that's it for shooting. So he is going to charge into these guys over here. So they've got, what is that? It's going to be 12 shots from the bolters, and then we've got yeah, we'll do that in a second. So these are the bolters hitting on 6s. Got 1, 2, 3. All right. Strength 4, looking for 5s to wound. Got 1 wound. AP -2, so looking for a 5 up save. And he's good. Woo! And now the Soul Reaper Cannon hitting on 6s. We got 2 hits. Strength 5, looking for 4s to wound. No. Oh, that's cocked. That one's cocked. Yeah. No, nothing there. And now his charge distance is in. And now Belial's going to charge in. And he is totally in. All right, so now into the fight phase. We're going to activate Belial first. He's got 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. All right, re-rolling because of him being Belial. All right, these are now wounding on 2s because of his Sword of Silence. All right, so that is 3 wounds. AP -3, so 5 up invul saves. 2 failed, so that's 2 damage each for that. All right, so now the attack bike is going to attack in here. He's got 2 attacks, hitting on 3s. All right, wounding on 4s. That's a wound. 3 up save.
2 up save.
Oh, 2 up save. He's good. All right, so now I'm going to activate him into here. So we got 2 attacks, hitting on 4s because he's using his fist. All right, re-rolling because of Belial. Okay, nothing there. All right, so now he's going to activate his Marines there. So we're going to go with the guys without the stave. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 guys. So these are going to be 7 attacks, hitting on 3s. All right, so that's all but 1. Wounding on 5s. All right, so that is 1 wound. 3 up armor save. He's good. And now the 2 attacks from the 4th stave over here, hitting on 3s. That's 2 hits. Strength plus 1. Strength 6, so it's 3s to wound. That one's cocked. Whoop. So that's 2 wounds. AP minus 1, so 2 4-up saves. Make 1 of them. And it's D3 damage because it's a 4 save, so 1 damage. Okay. He's actually going to spend a command point on that damage roll. Oh, and it's up to 3. Brutal. And now these guys are going to attack. So these 2 are going to go on to the Terminator here, and this one's going to go on to Belial. So, which one's first? We're going to go the 2 onto the Terminator here. So we're going to go the first with the... they're both going to use their power sword?
Yeah.
Okay, they're both going to use their power sword here, so it's going to be 4 attacks, hitting on 2s because of prescience. So you got 2 hits, strength 4, looking for 4s to wound. Got 2 wounds, AP minus 3, so that's going to be 2 5-up invul saves. Oh, and I failed both. I am not going to spend my command point. And now he's going to be attacking into Belial. He's going to be minus 1 to hit, but he's still got plus 1 to hit because of prescience. So he's got 2 attacks hitting on 3s. Got 1 hit. Wounding on a 4, so that's no wound there. All right, so towards at the end of here, we got the morale phase. They lost 3 guys, so 3 plus 3 is 6, so they are good. All right, I got 0 objectives, so I'm going to get rid of defend objective 3. So we'll come back to you with the cards drawn for the... oh no, he's got his 3. He's got the 3 that he had before. So we'll just come back to you after a movement phase for the Thousand Suns here on turn 3. So actually, on my turn, he's actually going to get defend objective 3 because he held that for 2 turns. His turn and then my turn. So he's got that. So he can actually draw another one now at the beginning of his turn, which is going to be blood and guts. So kill something in the assault phase. All right, sounds good. We will come back to you after a movement phase. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns. These guys moved up towards him. He shuffled around back behind there. These guys are still staying in combat. He moved up over here towards Belial, and these guys shuffled over this way a bit. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so these guys are going to, he's going to start off here with his sergeant casting smite. So looking for a 5. Getting it with a 5, so that's going to be 1 damage, so he is dead. And now the sergeant from this squad is going to put smite onto Belial. So that goes off with a 9, so it's just a 1 smite, but he's got his warlord trait, ignored in on a 6+. Show me that fill first. No, so he takes a wound. And now he's going to cast prescience onto them. Looking for a 7, that goes off. All right, so now he is going to cast infernal gaze into Belial there. So it is looking for a 5, and that goes off. So he's got 3d6, right? And looking for 4 pluses. So he gets 2. So 2 looking for 6 ups because of his warlord trait. And I failed both of those. And now the sergeant here is going to cast smite into him, looking for 5. Ooh, it goes off at 10, so that's d3. 2 wounds, so he's dead. All right, so we forgot he doesn't actually have infernal gaze. He has the warp time. So what we're going to do now is he's going to cast smite now. So, does not go off. Do you want to spend your last command point to try to save him? Yeah, he's going to spend his last command point there. Okay, so it does go off and doesn't kill him. So that was a really good use of your point there. So that's D3. Oh no, yeah, no, because he's the regular one. So it's D3. 2 wounds, okay. And I forgot his warlord rules. No, so he does take those 2. And now he's going to use infernal gaze into them because he's the one with it. So looking for 5, that does go off. So 3 attacks, 2 mortal wounds. All right. All right, so that's it for second phase. On to the shooting phase. He is going to fire into him. So it's -1 to hit because of hard to hit, and -1 to hit because he moved. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. That one's cocked. All right. One hit, strength 7, toughness, I think it's wounding on, 1 second. So it would have been wounding on 3, but he rolled a 2, so nothing there. And now he's going to use his Hell Flamer into him. So 2 hits, strength 5, so wounding on 5s. No wounds. And now the Rhino's going to fire in here, hitting on 4s because of hard to hit. No, nothing there. All right, so now they're going to fire into him. We're going to start with the regular bolters first. These are going to be hitting on 4s. Alrighty. All right, pretty good. Strength 4, wounding on 5s. Oh, nothing there. And now the Soul Reaper hitting on 4s. Oh, that's rough. So first, these guys are going to fire in here. First, we're going to go with the Inferno heavy bolter, not heavy bolters, combi bolters. So these are going, there's 4 of them there, so these are going to be 16 shots, hitting on 3s. All right, wounding on 4s. All right, so we've got 3 wounds. -2, +1 because of cover. So that's -1, so 3 ups. And then make them all, woo! And now the Soul Reaper cannon is going to fire into here, hitting on 3s. All right, so that's 4 hits, strength 5, wounding on 3s. All right, so we got 3 wounds, AP -3, +1 because of cover, so -2, so looking for 4 ups. 3 4-ups. And I make 1 of them, so 1 is dead. So that's it for the shooting phase. Now he is going to charge into Belial, and he is in. And now these guys are going to charge into my Terminators over here. So I'm going to fire Overwatch first with the Cyclone Missile Launcher, hitting on 6s. Whoa! Nope, nothing there. And then we've got 3 of the Storm Bolters that are going to be firing in here, hitting on 6s. Okay, so their charge distance, 4 inches is not going to be in. All right, so we'll come back to you with the fight sub phase. All right, so now he is going to attack into Belial here to start out the fight phase. So he's got 3 attacks, hitting on 4s because it's -1 to hit because of Belial. So that's 2 hits. Strength 6, right? So wounding on 3s. That's 2 wounds. AP -1, so we've got 2 3-up saves. I make them both. Woo! And now these guys are going to be attacking in here. So they did they have Prescience go off or no?
They did, yes.
They did. So they're going to be +1, -1 because they're attacking Belial. So they're going to be hitting on 3s. Alrighty.
Oh my god.
2 hits, wounding on 4s. No, nothing there. Now Belial's going to attack. He's going to attack into the Terminators over there. So I've got 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. All right, 4 hits, wounding on 2s. I'm going to spend a command point. Okay, 2 wounds. AP -3, 5 up invul, so he makes 1 of them. All right. All right, so at the end of his turn here, he did not get any of the objectives, and he got rid of Blood and Guts. So we'll come back to you after with the cards drawn for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. All right, so I drew Defend Objective 6, and I've still got Supremacy and Area Denial. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. Belial stayed in combat over here. He flew over that way. He stood still. These guys moved up over this way. They moved up over this way, and that is it for the movement phase. So we will come back to you with the shooting phase. So he is going to fire into them over there, starting out here. So we've got hitting. These shots are going to be hitting on 3s because he didn't move. All right, pretty good. This is going to be wounding on 2. These are going to be wounding on 4. Okay, so we've got 1 at AP 4, so actually both are at 5+, so it doesn't make a difference because they only have 1 wound each. So yeah, so we got 2 5-ups. Makes them both. Well done. So they're going to fire into them. We're going to go with the Cyclone Missile Launcher first, heavy 2D3. So that is another 4 shots, hitting on 4s. All right, so 4 hits, wounding on 4s. You got 3 wounds, 3 5-ups. Ooh, fails them all. And now the Storm Bolters are going to fire into them. So they're not in rapid fire range, but they are in range. So 8 shots, hitting on 3s. Okay. Wounding on 4s. Okay, 3 wounds, 3 5-ups. Makes 2 of them. All right. All right, my interrogator chaplain's gonna fire into them, hitting on. Hold on a second. All right, so he's hitting on 3s, wounding on a 4. No wound there. All right, these guys are gonna fire the cyclone missile launcher into him, and everything else into those guys. So we're gonna go with the cyclone missile launchers first. 2 shots hitting on 4s. We're gonna do the crack missiles. 2 hits. Strength 8, wounding on 2s. Got 2 wounds. AP -3, so 2 5-ups. No, fails both of them. And I think 1 second. All right, it's D6 wounds, so the first one is 1. So yeah, 1 guy is gonna be dead. Wow, that was rough. And now the storm bolter is gonna fire into them, hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Wounding on 4s. We got 3 wounds, 3 5-ups. Makes 1 of them. All right, he is going to drop his stasis bomb onto these guys here. So we got 8 guys down there. I roll a D6 for each in the squad. On a 4+, it causes a mortal wound. So looking for 4+. All right, so we got 3 mortal wounds. And now the storm bolters are going to, hurricane bolters are going to fire into them. So 24 shots hitting on 4s because of strafe and run. All righty. Wow, okay, that was really good. I will take that. So these are now wounding on 4s. All right. So that is 4 5. 5 2-ups because they get +1 to their saves when it's only 1 wound. And he fails 1 of them. And he's going to fire his rift cannon into him. So heavy D3. 2 shots. Hitting on 5s. I got 1 hit. Strength 10. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound. AP -3. So he's got a 5-up invul against shooting. No, it goes through. So that's D3. Oh no, 3 wounds. He just takes 3 wounds. And then we roll to see if he has on the rift effect. So at this point, because he's only at 2 wounds, it needs to be a 5-up. No, it does not happen. All right, that's it for shooting. So now these guys are going to charge into them. So we've got Overwatch with the combi bolters. So we've got 2 hits, strength 4, looking for 4s to wound. Got 1 wound, AP -2, so it's down to 4 up since there's the 1 guy off of the cover there. No, so 1 takes a wound. And now here comes the Reaper Soul Cannon. All right, no hits there. All right, and they need 4 inches to get in here. And they're just in, but in. And now my interrogator chaplain's gonna charge in here, looking for a 7-inch charge. And getting it. All right, so now we're gonna start with the interrogator chaplain into these guys over here. He's got 3 attacks, hitting on 2s. Re-rolling because of himself. Okay. 2 hits, wounding on 3s. That's 2 wounds, AP -1, so 2 3-ups. And he makes them both. So now we're gonna go with the Power Fist guys in here. So we got 2 attacks each from each of them. Hitting on 4s. All right, re-rolling because of the interrogator chaplain there. All right, so 3 hits. Wounding on 2s. That's 3 wounds, AP -3, so 3 5-ups. Makes 1 of them. So D3, hold on a second. All right, so that's D3 wounds each. The first one is 2 wounds, and the next one is 3 wounds. All right. And now my sergeant's gonna go 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Re-rolling because of the interrogator chaplain. All right, so that's 2 hits. Strength 4, wounding on 4s. Got 1 wound. AP -3, so 5-up invul. No, so that goes through. So that's just 1 wound. All right, so now Belial is going to attack. He's going to do 3 attacks into the sorcerer, 1 attack into the terminators. So we got 3 attacks into the sorcerer, hitting on 2s. All right, that's 3 hits. Wounding on 2s. Oh, I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll one of these. All right, so that's 2 wounds, AP -3, so 2 6-ups. Oh, and he made 1, so he's still alive. And now Belial's going to attack into these guys with this 1 attack. Hitting on a 2, re-rolling because of himself. Wounding on a 2. Oh, come on. So now he's going to activate his sorcerer into Belial. 3 attacks, hitting on 4s because of the -1 to hit. Strength 6, so wounding on 3s. We got 1 wound. AP -1, so looking for a 4-up. Nope. D3 damage. Oh, 3 damage. So Belial's dead. Oh, I've got my Warlord trait. That's right. My Warlord trait. I need at least 1 fill face. Show me any of the fill faces. I got 2! I'll take that. Woo! And now we're going to go into the Terminators over here. He's going to use a sword and a save. So we're going to go with the sword first. 2 attacks hitting on 4s. Oh, no, hitting on 3s because they got prescience, right? So it's 1. We got 1, 3. So wounding on a 4. No wound there. Now we got the stave hitting on 3s. Got 1 hit. Wounding on the 3. That's a wound. Okay. AP -1. 4-up save. Come on. No! Failed. D3 wounds. 2 wounds. Oh, come on. Show me a fill face. Show me a fill face. Show me any fill face. Yeah! I got the 1 fill face. He's still alive. And now these guys over here. He's going to go with the sword guy first. So he's 2 attacks hitting on 3s. That's 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. We got 2 wounds. 2 5-up invul saves. Ooh, failing both. And now the stave. 1 hit. Wounding on a 3. That's a wound. 3-up save. Oh, come on. All right, so that's it for fighting. Now on to the morale test. They lost 3 guys, but because they're within 6 inches of my interrogator chaplain, they're at leadership -1. So their leadership 9 goes down to a leadership 8. So they lost 3 guys, plus 3 is 6, so they're good. These guys over here lost 6. So they needs 1 for lose nothing. Oh, 6. So that's 12. So that's minus. They lose 5 guys. That's rough. And these guys lost 4, and they're at leadership 8. So 4 plus 4 is 8. So they are good. All right. So that is it for the Dark Angel's turn here. I got area denial. Let me see how far out from that. So I got area denial. So looking for this one now because the Zangors are out of there. He's out of 12 inches, actually, so looking for D3 for this one. Okay, 1 point for that. And my opponent drew Kingslayer, leaving with Kingslayer, secure objective 1, and Big Game Hunter. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns here. These guys stayed in combat. These guys shuffled over to here. They stood still. He jumped over here. They stood still. And these guys just kind of moved back over there. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so here he goes. We're going to try with the Terminator there. It's going to use Smite into Belial on a 5.
6.
It's a 6, so it goes off. So that is 1. Oh, I've still got my Warlord trait. Here we go. Show me that fill face. Show me that fill face. Show me that fill face. Oh, no. I'm going to spend my last command point to show me the fill face. Do it again. Do it again. Ah, so close. All right, so that is Slay the Warlord. Womp womp. And now he is going to smite into him. Gets it with a 5, so that's 1 wound onto him. Now he is going to cast Smite into him. It goes off with 5, so D3. Ooh, that's 3. Brutal. And now he's going to cast Infernal Gaze into him. It goes off with 5, right? Yep, so now 3. Looking for 4s. Gets 2. And now he's going to cast Smite into him. And that goes off. So D3. But that's all it took. So he is dead. So now into the shooting phase, he's going to fire his Karis Assault Cannon into him. He didn't move, but he's -1 to hit because of hard to hit. So looking for 3s. Alrighty. Strength 7. So wounding on 3s. Alright, so that's 3 wounds. AP -1, so 3 4-ups. Oh, and I failed the 1, so he is dead. Does he explode? No, he does not. Now these guys are going to fire into my bike over here. So 2 shots from the bolters. That's 2 hits. Wounding on 5s. No wounds. And now the Soul Reaper Cannon. Hitting on 3s. Alright, that's 4 hits. Wounding on strength 5, so wounding on 4s. No wounds there. All right, so that is it for the shooting phase. We're going to move straight into the fight phase. So these guys are going to go first. So what are we going to go? We're going to do the sword first. So hitting on 3s. No, nothing there. So then we've got the stave hitting on 3s. 1 hit. Wounding on 3, so that's a wound. AP -1, so looking for a 3-up. No, it goes through. D3 wounds. Don't do it. Yeah, 1 wound. He's still alive. Now he's going to attack back into them. 2 attacks, hitting on 4s. Oh, got 1 hit. Wounding on a 2. That's a wound. 5-up invul save. No, and it goes through. So he's always going to at least do 1 damage. So that guy is dead. And I managed to consolidate in there just within the 3 inches. I will take that. So that is it for the fight phase. Nobody has to take any morale tests. So we will just come back to you with his cards. All right, so I managed to keep him from getting secure objective 1, but he did get Kingslayer and Big Game Hunter. So Kingslayer is D3. Oh, 3, that is brutal. All right, so I drew Blood and Guts, leaving me with Blood and Guts, Supremacy, and Defend objective 6. Oh, I got Defend objective 6 on your turn there, because he was there. So I actually get to draw this other one. Psychological Warfare. Score 1 victory point if your opponent failed a morale test during this turn. Opponent failed 3 or more, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we'll come back to you with after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here. He moved over this way. He's still locked in combat. And those guys back there, you can see back there, they advanced over this way. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. Shooting phase, he's going to fire into him. So, again, the green's multi-melta hitting on 3s and 4. Oh. All right, so we've got 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. Got 1 wound. 3 up. He's good. All right, that's it for shooting. So on to the fight phase. He is going to punch into him. 2 attacks. Hitting on 4s. Oh, come on. I needed that so bad. All right. And now his attack's back here. Hitting on 3s. Ooh, 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. Ooh, 2 wounds. 2 3-up saves. Come on, baby. You can do it. Yeah, he's good. Woo! And that is it for the Dark Angels. So I didn't get Blood and Guts, didn't get Psychological Warfare or Supremacy. I am going to get rid of Psychological Warfare. So we will come back to you after with the cards drawn for Thousand Suns here on turn 5. All right, so he drew Area Denial and Secure Objective 2. So he's got Secure Objective 1, 2, and Area Denial. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Thousand Suns here on turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns here. He shuffled up some of his guys over this way. These guys are moving up this way. He advanced over this way, but rolled a 1 for the advance, so he's just out of range of him. He stood still. He's locked in combat. They also stood still, and he just kind of moved over this way. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. And now his sergeant is going to cast Smite onto my guy there. Oh, no! No! He's got 2 wounds, right? So it's D3. If you don't kill him, it will go off. But if you do kill him, it won't. So, 2 wounds and he is dead. And now he's going to smite into my Terminator with the regular smite. Looking for 5. Who goes off with 9? D3 wounds. Yeah, he is dead. All right. And now he's going to cast Infernal Gaze onto him over there. So, looking for 5. Oh, no! Oh, no! And it doesn't even go off anyway. So, D3 mortal wounds. 1 mortal wound, all right. And now he is going to warp time himself. Oh, man, it could have been either one there. So he goes off. And now he's going to cast Smite onto him. Oh, it does off. So D3. Ooh, 3 wounds, brutal. All right, so that is it for the psychic phase. He is going to fire with his Karis Assault Cannon into my biker over there. So 6 shots hitting on 2s. Oh, 3s because he moved. All right, so it's 4 hits. Strength 7, so wounding on 3s. So it's 3 wounds. AP -1, +1 because he's in cover. So looking for 3 ups. And he's good to go. Woo! So 1 bolter and the Soul Reaper Cannon are in range. So we're going to go with the 1 bolter first. Hitting on a 3. Nope. And now we got the Soul Reaper Cannon hitting on 3s. All right, we go. 1 hit. Strength 5, so wounding on a 4. That's a wound. AP -3, +1 because of cover, so looking for a 5 up. He's good! Woo! And he's gonna fire his combi bolter into him, hitting on 3s. All right, 2 hits, wounding on 5s. No wounds. And this guy is gonna fire his bolt pistol into him, hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Wounding on a 5. Oh no, that's a wound. Here we go, 2 up save because he's in cover. Oh, and he's good. All right, and that is it for the Thousand Suns turn here. So we'll come back to you with their cards. All right, so he got objective 1, but didn't get the other 2. And are you gonna get rid of secure objective 2? Yeah, he's gonna get rid of secure objective 2. All right, so we'll come back to you with the cards drawn for the Dark Angels. All right, and I drew Domination, which is impossible with my 2 units left. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 5. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. He stood still, and they just moved up over there looking at his Zangors. So that is it for the movement phase. So we'll go straight into the shooting phase. He is going to fire his multi-melta into this guy, and then he's going to fire the bolters into that guy. So we're going to go with the multi-melta first, hitting on a 3. That's a hit. Wounding on a 2. That's a wound. AP -4, so goes through. D6 wounds. Come on! Oh, I needed literally anything but that. Oh, that's just how this game's going. And now he's gonna fire his bolters into there. So 4 shots hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Wounding on 4s. Got 2 wounds. 6 faces, fill faces. And 3 up, so he fails one of them. Now these guys are going to fire into the Zangors there, so we're going to fire the crack version of the Cyclone Missile Launcher first. So we got 2d3 shots. So that is going to be 3 shots. Hitting on 4 since he moved. I got 1 hit. Wounding on a 4. Nope, no wound there. And now the Storm Bolters are going to fire into them. So we've got 4 guys left there, so that's going to be 16 shots here, hitting on 3s. Alrighty. These are now going to be wounding on 4s. Alrighty, so we got 3, 6, 7, 5 up invul saves. Makes 1 of them, so 6 are dead. And that is all of them, so they are dead. And that is it for the Dark Angels turn here on turn 5. So, my opponent, I'm going to have him roll it because that's the end of the turn there. So, will the game end here on a 3+? It goes on turn 6? Oh, and it does. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Thousand Suns on turn 6. All right, and my opponent drew secure objective 4 and no prisoners. It still has area denial. So we will come back to you after his movement phase. All right, movement phase for the Thousand Suns. These guys are just kind of trudging along this way. They stood still. He stood still. He moved up over this way, and these 2 guys moved around him, and that is it. So we will come back to you. That's it for the movement phase, so we'll come back to you with the psychic phase. Starting it off, he is going to cast Smite onto him, looking for 5. Oh, and it goes off. So that's going to be at least 1 wound, so he is dead. And that is going to be the end of his turn. So, his cards that he got area denial. He's got within 12 inches. This is my 1 guy left or not there, so D3 on the area denial. And he's got secure objective 4, he got no prisoners, and he's got D3. You want to roll that for D3 for the area denial? 1 for area denial. So that's still an additional 3 points right there. Pretty brutal. All right, so I got secure objective 5, and that is all the cards I got there. All right, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 6. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 6. They advance over there to capture that objective, which gives me the 1 point from that card. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the end of this game. A strong victory there for the Thousand Suns. This game was crazy go nuts. The amount of dice that we rolled that were just ridiculous, it was insane. It was insane. I was the fact that Magnus went down on turn 1 there to down to what is 1 or 2 wounds left, and then I just punched him in the face to end it there was super brutal. His first turn there, just coming down and smiting all of my Black Knight squad, just gone, and then just shooting with the multi-melta, 6 wounds, dead. Okay. So yeah, those first couple turns were really brutal and knocked down a lot of our ability to to really maneuver and do things. And it was pretty brutal. And then once I had dropped everyone down here to handle Magnus, it left a lot of my forces in this corner having to try to like trudge their way out, which left me very vulnerable to a lot of objectives, to trying to grab onto objectives. So it just goes to show you, you gotta, it's tough. Even though I killed Magnus, it still was an uphill battle after that for me. And he played it to the objectives, grabbed all the things he needed, and did really well with that. And the smites, man, those smites were killer, taking my guys out left and right. And then, but then his attempted smites giving him a whole bunch of mortal wounds with those perils. It was funny because right before that turn, I was like, I was like, I wonder if your psychic dice are finally going to give up on you and start giving you perils. And then sure enough, he perils twice in that same psychic phase. He's like, you can't say anything else. Don't say anything. So yeah, this was a ton of fun. And the Thousand Suns, these guys are brutal, but they are awesome. They look super cool. They look awesome. I'm really had a blast playing against these guys in this game. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Brian. And until next time, have fun.